Hi everybody, this is Sir Wooper, and I've got a bit of a longer battle today actually, using an NU team. Well, it's not really meant to be an NU team. It was a team that I was suggested to try and use, made up entirely of normal types, and none of which are allowed to be either evolutions or Pokemon that can evolve. So it was quite difficult picking a team that was going to be any use whatsoever. But I had a few weird battles. I had a few where I got hacked a little bit, and they just weren't really worth uploading. But this was a close match, and it's, like I said, it's a bit longer, but I reckon it's worth the watch, to be honest. So away we go. Anyway, I lead off with Chubbs, my Miltank, as he goes into Metang, and we both just trade Stealth Rocks first turn, because, I don't know, supposedly the most important move in the game. I suppose it does benefit me quite a lot in this match, because he has, Embor, which I suppose isn't weak to it, but it still takes damage, and Noctowl, which is weak to it. And Noctowl is a bit of a beast of a special rule, as you'll find out later on. Anyway, he goes for the Home Claws, then Meteor Mash, and I'm just going to keep Seismic Tossing him, doing as much damage as I can, so I don't really have anything to deal with this Metang, unfortunately, because I wasn't really thinking too hard when I put this team together. Anyway, I go for the Seismic Toss as he switches in his Gardevoir, and I go into Aldino because it's my special rule, and I really hoped I'd be able to take an attack, but he tricks me a Choice Specs, and that makes Aldino pretty much useless, to be honest. I go for the Thunder Wave after he Focus Blasts me, just because a slowed down Gardevoir is always good. They're not massively fast, but too fast for my liking, really. And I just go for the Thunder Wave again as I'm locked into it, and I don't want anything else to take a Focus Blast, because, being mono-normal, my team is pretty weak to fighting, to be honest. So I bring in Useless, my Spinda. As the contrary choice band sets banned on PO, I've got a bit of a different one, and I get a kill. I actually get a kill with Spinda with Sucker Punch, which I was quite happy about. Here I switch into Giraffridge, expecting probably Will-O-Wisp, which is what he goes for, because that's what Weezings do. They come in on physical attackers, just take all their attacks, and then they Will-O-Wisp them. So he goes out into Noctowl, as I believe I go for a Calm Mind, expecting him to switch out, fearing the Psychic. I go for the Hidden Power Ice on the Noctowl. I carry Hidden Power Ice specifically for flying types, which my team can't really deal with too well otherwise. And it does an alright amount, and he just whirlwinds me out into Useless the Spinda. Now, I was hoping that he was going to Roost or something, so I just went for the Substitute, I believe. And he does Roost, so that worked out pretty well, to be honest. And I think I just go for Dizzy Punch this turn, because I know he's going to try and whirlwind me out now that I've done that. And that does, nothing, because Spinda's attack stat is absolutely abysmal. So, Chubbs comes in, and I'm literally just going to sit here as he whirlwinds me around, Heal Belling and Seismic Tossing and such. So he Toxics me as I Heal Bell to heal the burn on Giraffridge, and I'm just going to Heal Bell again because I don't want Chubbs Toxics, basically. And it was definitely worth putting Heal Bell on this Pokemon rather than I think I took off Thunder Wave for it. He whirlwinds me into Taurus, and here the Rock Slide was really obvious, but this Noctowl was causing me so many problems that I just decided to go for it anyway. So he brings in his Weezing, doesn't do too much, and this turn I believe I go for the Substitute, because not many Taurus run Substitute, and this is a Life Orb Sheer Force set. I go for the Sub, but he just Sludge Bombs. I was expecting him to Will-O-Wisp, to be honest, because that made a lot more sense to me. And I go for the Zen Headbutt this turn, but yeah, he Sludge Bombed me. So that didn't work out as well as I was hoping. Now he goes into Absol to resist the Zen Headbutt, because that's really just a good play in general. I expect him to go for the Sucker Punch this turn, so I switch out into Monty, my Kangaskhan, knowing that I can fake out and do a decent amount of damage. But he switches into Weezing, probably the good play, to be honest, just to save his Absol for later, because Absol is a massive threat in NU. Just because it's got priority and Swords Dance and Stab, and it's just not good. So he brings an Embor. I'm thinking this is probably going to be choice banded, so I bring in Taurus as Death Fodder, and I take a Superpower to the face. Doesn't do well because Taurus is frail, and I was at such a low amount of HP that it didn't really matter. Now that he's at -1 attack and -1 defense, I bring in Chubbs, knowing that I can take a Superpower at -1. Even if he is choice banded, and I just go for the Milk Drink expecting him to switch. Now it would have been really nice if I'd had something like Toxic, I suppose, instead of maybe Milk Drink, because I don't really use it that much in this game, and it would have just been useful to have this knocked out Toxic, but I don't know, it doesn't turn out too badly. He predicts me to Heal Bell here, good prediction, and goes for the Roost. And this Noctowl has given me all manner of hell. Just trying to get rid of it is a nightmare. I'm only doing 24% with Seismic Toss because Noctowl's got so much HP that it's ridiculous. I think it's got 404 with max HP, so I just go for the Psychic and it's doing about the same amount, and he goes for Nightshade possibly forgetting that I'm normal type, or it might have been a misclick. I don't know, I didn't really ask. And I just keep going for psychics, hoping that something will go right, basically. I was trying to figure out whether this would do more than Hidden Power Ice, which is super effective, and then I start going for Calm Minds, predicting him not to Whirlwind me out because he doesn't expect me to go for Calm Mind, knowing that I know that he has Whirlwind. So I go for it this turn, and he switches out into Emboar, which just takes a Psychic. I imagine he was predicting the Hidden Power Ice, but I just wanted to see how much it would do. Knowing that I'm Toxic, I can't really stay in and keep hitting things, and also Absol comes in, which is clearly going to have the Sucker Punch, which I predict him going to Miltank, and I believe he actually goes for the... Oh no, he doesn't go for the Sucker Punch. I thought he was going to go for Night Slash. But nope, it turns out I'm wrong. The other move that I carry on my Giraffe Ridge is Energy Ball, just because it's useful because things like Quagsire are still floating around in NU, and getting rid of them is always good. He goes for a Swords Dance as I Heal Bell, and then Superpowers me, and that takes me out, obviously, because it's just massive, massive damage. I'm not entirely sure what item he's running on his Absol, because it doesn't appear to be Life Orb, which is what I see most often. But yeah, I just go for the Fake Out on the Metang, and then I'm going to Drain Punch him, because I think you've all seen this Kangaskhan before. It was in my first NU battle, and yeah, it just Drain Punches things. He misses Meteor Mash, not sure how much that mattered, as Metang's attack stat is not the greatest, and I get a bit more HP, but yeah, I lose more than I gain back, so it's not great in the long run. Noctowl comes in, I'm pretty sure it's going to Whirlwind me out, but I just go for the sub anyway, and he tries to go for Toxic, which is absolutely ideal, to be honest, because I block that, and I can go for a Drain Punch this turn, and that does a pretty good chunk, to be honest. And he then proceeds to Whirlwind me out. So Giraffe Ridge comes in, and I'm just fed up with this Noctowl, so I basically decide I'm going to boost up as much as I can after this Hidden Power, and just try and see how much I can do. I really should have predicted the Roost and gone for a Calm Mind, but I was sick to death of this thing being sat in here. And I knew that in order to win, I was really going to have to try and play around with this Noctowl, because it was just being an absolute thorn in my side. Getting rid of it was a nightmare. So I go for the Calm Mind, and I go for the Calm Mind again, because I don't think he actually has any attacking moves, or he hasn't shown me any. I've seen Whirlwind, Roost, and Toxic. Oh no, he does, he has Nightshade, and of course Nightshade doesn't affect me. So I go for the Hidden Power Ice. It does a good amount, but he can just Roost that off, which is irritating. I Calm Mind again, knowing that if I'm going to do any kind of significant amount of damage to this Noctowl, I'm going to need to be at more than +2 in each. And he's just going to keep roosting. He tries going for Toxic, expecting me to switch, but I'm pretty much set on foddering my Giraffe Ridge and just getting as much damage as I can on this thing. So I go for Psychic, 62% is not bad, and I believe I go for Psychic again this turn, because that seemed to be doing a lot. I'm not sure if Hidden Power Ice would have been the better play. Quite possibly it would have been, in which case it was very silly of me to do this. But either way, he ends up actually, because of min-max damage, he actually ends up with more health now than he had when I started Psychicking. So I bring in Monty, because I know that he doesn't want, that I can fake him out and then hit him with a Drain Punch, and that he doesn't want to take that at all. Also, his Nightshades aren't going to be affecting me, which is ideal, and I suppose this Noctowl was a very good wall, but it couldn't really do a whole lot to my team, because every single thing that I have is normal. So he Toxics me, and I'm just going to go for another Drain Punch. We're into like 48 turns now. This is longer than anything I've ever posted before, and it's an NU battle. It's crazy. Anyway, I know his Absol is the last thing on his team. Spinda has Sucker Punch, so I can handle it if I need to, and I just go for the Sucker Punch, and I actually get a crit. So that's the end of the battle. Basically, this team did work, and Monty surviving on 1% HP so that I get the 2-0 was just incredible. I actually got a kill with Spinda, which I really wasn't expecting. That's supposed to be a focus punching Spinda. I just put a Sucker Punch on it because priority is always nice, as I think it was shown. Anyway, yeah, this is the end of the battle. Just leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if there's any teams that you want me to use, any specific Pokemon, any tiers. I really don't mind. Yeah, peace out.